Hello tubers, King Grimlock back once again for another Grimgram, and first off, as ever, a little bit of housekeeping. Thanks Dave for doing this. It's another week where I don't have to do a proper review. Cheers buddy. So, getting to know a Transformers fan, the third strike. Does this mean we're out after this? I don't know. Anyway, I didn't get to do this last year because I wasn't doing videos at that point. I wasn't even really part of the community at that point. I only joined the forum I post mainly on now, the Moonbase 2, back in probably June, July. I'd been a Transformers fan for a long time before, but never part of the online community, as it were. So, I've never had a chance to do this. Here we go. Question 1. How long have you been a Transformers fan? Well, I have been a fan since the early days, on and off. I remember going to see the 86 movie in the cinema back in the day and sobbing like the small child I was when Optimus Prime died. And I saw it in Canada as well, which didn't have the ending that the UK version did. That's, quite boldly states that Prime will be back. So I had to be traumatised up until the end of season 3. Midway through season 3, but then he's a zombie, isn't he? Great, spoiler alert. Yeah, brilliant. So I have memories of that, but I came back into the fandom. I got reintroduced, as it were, in 2001 by my university housemate, who put on the Transformers movie, and we watched it, and then he bought a few of the comics, and he had a complete Jetfire, and the love sort of started growing from there again, and by 2006, I started collecting properly, like skins. What is your earliest memory of Transformers? Probably going to see the 86 movie, to be honest. But yeah, I remember going to see the film, and I remember the Rebirth, part 3, I think. Randomly, I just remember a scene from that. I always remember seeing it, and it just stuck with me for years upon years. Yeah, probably that, to be honest. I'd probably say the definitive early memory. Who is your favourite Transformer of all time? Character-wise, it changes, depending on what I'm reading, what I'm viewing at the time. I love Rat Trap from the Beast era. I think he's hilarious. I think great character, great developed character over the course of the 5 seasons, if you include Machines. I'm quite a fan of Cheetor as well, actually. He's quite good. Beast Wars Megatron's excellent, but I've just watched Beast Wars, so I'm going to be very biased towards that. As it is, though, my favourite toy, it is way favourite character, this guy, Highbrow. Now, Highbrow, this is my original Highbrow. It's one of the few I've ever kept, and I don't know what it is about him. There's just something about him. It's not so much the character. I mean, Gort's just a bit of a soft one. There's not much to him, and Highbrow isn't a really definitive character, but there's something great about him. And it was awesome to see him in animated when he reappeared last year. So yeah, I don't know why. Weird one. What is your most prized Transformers possession? There's a few. There's a few bits I've got that I'm really pleased with. My first ever Transformer, getting back into it, was Alternator Smokescreen. I picked up from Argos for a tenner, I think, and that was it. I thought, I'll just collect a few, 200 Transformers later. But to be honest, this guy is probably the most prized possession for a number of reasons. Convoy, Masterpiece Convoy, the original Japanese release. One, because it was the first big one I got, and my friend surprised me on my birthday and bought this for me for my 24th, I think it was. Just randomly, complete out of the blue. So it's not only got the what it is, it's also got those wonderful memories attached of how strong our friendship was, even though he was where I'm from, which is the next question, and I was up studying in Liverpool, away from him, and he, out of the blue, bought me this, and I remember opening it, jumping out of the chair, and jumping on him and hugging him, even though he was sat on a sofa. And I'm not a small bloke. You can imagine the impact damage. Where do you come from? Live? Well, I was born in Cambridge. I moved to Israel. I moved back to Cambridge. I moved to Canada. I moved back to Cambridge. I moved to Liverpool. I moved back to Cambridge, and I'm in Cambridge. Outside of Transformers, what do you do with your life? Well, I'm a dedicated Christian, so I spend a lot of time doing church work and Christian work, as it were. I'm highly involved in my church, so that takes up a lot of my spare time. As a job, I'm a chef, and I pretty much am a typical chef. You know, grumpy, miserable, slightly violent. Yeah, it's what I've done all my life. It's not what I studied to do, but, you know, 10 years experience, well, more than that now, blimey, 15 years experience almost. You can't get stuck in a job. What is the origin of your YouTube screen name? Well, it's King Grimmy, and on the forums I'm known as King Grimlock, and King Grimlock wasn't available. Whose videos do you enjoy watching? Well, the first person I started watching, and I kind of watched a bit of YouTube, and then I watched a few videos by this person, and that was it. I was hooked. And his charisma was just fantastic. His attitude was great. And the first ever Transformers review or video I watched was I Love Mess, Ray's 5 crappiest Transformers. And I remember howling, laughing at him, and that was it. I was hooked onto his videos. And Ray, you are dearly missed, sir, on YouTube. You know, the fact that you leapt from obscurity to, you know, however many thousand subscribers within such a short amount of time, testament to your personality, to how wonderful a personality you have, and just your enthusiasm for the franchise. So, yeah, I mean, Ray, you missed, man. It's not the same without you, as it were. Well, I tell you the one I do absolutely adore. Every time I say this is probably the one person I say as soon as I see the video, I make my time to watch it, even if it's at work or anything. I have to do it. Is Auxilion XLR, Brad. I mean, the guy makes me laugh like a drain, man. He's hilarious, and he just does good stuff, and he cares about what he's doing. Yeah, just top notch. Go and check him out if you haven't. I'll stick a link in the not down. Which Transformer is your holy grail? I don't overly have one at the moment. Probably, though, Alternator Swerve, because he's the hardest alternator to get, and I haven't got him. If you transform into anything, what would it be? A triple changing shark car that could fly. Scary. How close have you come to getting your holy grail? Well, my holy grail, Alternator Swerve, a couple of times. I've only been at the last few seconds, but Holy Grail wise, last year he was, and then he got re-released, so that was kind of easy. Alternator Swerve, not close enough to have touched it yet. I will. By the end of Auto Assembly this year, my goal is to have my alternator collection complete. What has been the best toy purchased over the last 12 months? Well, I've had a few. Awesome. My darling girlfriend got me him. Very surprised how good he is. But to be honest, Super Link Scorponok, just brilliant toy. Again, Ray and George, Exaggerated Ellie, check him out. He's awesome. Just the reviews on that, just sold it. Brilliant toy. What is for you the best piece of Transformers fiction ever? There's a few. Characters drive it for me. Spotlight Cup is beautiful. Wreckers is amazing. The Enemy Within from Marvel Generation 1 is an astounding piece. I'm looking over at it now. You know, there's some very good fiction out there, just comic-wise. Cartoons, Beast Wars is great. Beast Machines is awesome. Animated is blinding. Energon sucks. Never watch Energon. But for me, it's Dreamwaves Volume 2, War and Peace. For this panel, and I'm not sure how well that's going to pick up, that's Ultra Magnus driving into Menasau's face. What more could you want from a comic book? Which is your continuity and why? G1. But classic G1 now. It's classic redesigned G1, new G1, fresh G1. I love the alternators, classics, that sort of thing. And animated, because they've all got the G1 sensibilities, and because I missed out all of, in theory I actually missed all of Generation 2, the Beast era, RID, and I was only just coming back into it when the Unicron trilogy started, and I kind of avoided most of that as well. I didn't see any of it, and the only series I watched fresh, new, was animated. So I've got a lot of G1 sensibilities, so G1. What aside from Transformers do you enjoy doing as a hobby, and why? I don't have any hobbies really outside of Transformers because I don't have enough time. I go to the gym a lot, as you can tell from the pinch and inch and the flabby bits. But other than that, I don't have much free time between work, church and the gym. Play some video games. But other than that, not too much.